everyone. Have everybody's attention. Yep. Can everybody please take their seat? No, you need to sit too. Okay. One, I don't like public speaking. Two, I'm used to talking to people who are in a controlled environment. So I'll try to do my best. Marriage is a beautiful and wonderful thing, the joining of two hearts and souls as one. Today we gather to celebrate the beginning of Matt and Shanna life and journey together. I am Richard Griffin, father of the bride, and Father George, thank you for performing the ceremony. I would like to thank all of you for coming here today and sharing in their special day. I would especially like to welcome Matt into our family with open arms and his mother, Kim. And thank you everyone for attending, especially those who came from out of town. People who know me know Shanna as a wonderful person, has always been my princess. The first time I met Shanna, things didn't go so well. When we met, Lisa and Shanna and me were walking down the sidewalk, and I decided to tickle her mom. And of course, she screamed, she ran down the sidewalk, and Shanna saw that and went, screamed at the top of her lungs, stopped in the middle of the sidewalk, and yelled, "Don't hurt my mommy!" Shanna, after that, would not have anything to do with me. So I had to convince her that I was actually a good guy, and I did. I thought my chances were ruined, but I won her over and convinced her that I was actually a good person. Boy, first impressions. She excelled at everything she put her mind to. She was the only kid that I knew that would make herself sick for not getting A's on her report card. As I stand here today and think of all her accomplishments and all the hard work she has done to get where she is now, communication of events specialist at WashU of St. Louis, it makes me proud and excited. And Matt, I could not be happier than I am today, knowing that from now on, she can lean on you for support. You are her protector, her best friend, and I welcome you into the family. From today on, you are not my son-in-law. You are the son I never had, because with 4 daughters, I never had a son. Thank you, Kim, for all the help and generosity in helping with the wedding. We are so happy that you too are now part of our family. I see by how Matt treats Shanna that you raised him to be a perfect and kind gentleman. Lisa, mon amour, we have loved each other for 28 years, and we are here today giving away our daughter to a wonderful young man.
Yes, we are.
Now we can look forward to watching them raise their family with the same joy and love that we raised Shanna and our daughters with. Everyone, please stand. And raise a glass to toast Shanna and Matt Feldman. May you have many wonderful years of love and laughter as you begin your adventure together. May the winds be easy winds, and keep yourselves full of happy and loving memories.
Rick, I'd like to thank you, to you and your family. You have a beautiful daughter, and we love her very much. Good evening, everybody. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Kim, and Matt's mom. I'd like to welcome you and thank all of you for being here to help celebrate and share this special day with Shanna and Matt. I'd also like to thank everyone who has helped out with the wedding preparations. A special thank you to my fiance, Larry, for all your love and support and for always being there to help me in doing whatever was needed or asked of you. It was about 3 years ago when Shanna and Matt first met. And for those of you who don't know, Shanna was working for the ALS Association at the time. And Matt, along with our family and friends, were participating in the Kimswick ALS 5K run in memory of Dan, my late husband and Matt's dad. Because of Matt's involvement with the event and his top fundraising, thanks to our family and friends, this sparked quite some conversation between the two of them. And of course, the rest is history. I like to believe that Dan had a part in bringing the two of you two together. Matt, I am so proud of you and of the man you've become. And I know that your dad is looking down from heaven with so much love and pride for you today. You are thoughtful, caring, kind-hearted, generous, loving, helpful, humorous, supportive. So many of the same qualities that your dad had. And it's these qualities that I know will make you a wonderful husband to Shanna and someday a great father. I love you so very much. Shanna, I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming into Matt's life and making my son so happy. Thank you for being the sister to Amanda that she never had. I love hearing the two of you girls talk and laugh together. It just brings me so much joy. Shanna, I want to welcome you to our family. I love you like a daughter. I wish you both many long and healthy years together, filled with much love, joy, and happiness. Please raise a glass, and let's toast our congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Matt and Shanna Feldman. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, hey everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Lindsay. Oh, sorry. I would like to start off by thanking everyone who is here to celebrate Shanna and Matt. It means the world to them. I know these are trying times, so for everyone to come and make it and support them on their special day means so much. Also, look how beautiful Shanna looks tonight. And Matt, you look pretty good too. So Shanna and I met in college through our sorority, where we quickly bonded over our shared love for Mardi Gras beads. Well, 10 years later, and I could not be happier to be standing here today to celebrate the amazing person Shanna is and the wonderful life she and Matt have created together. Over the years, we have laughed together, cried together, and had so many amazing memories. It was really hard for me to not rattle off every adventure we've had together, along with our heart-to-hearts. I'm truly blessed to have someone like you in my life. There are so many traits that I love about Shanna. First, her beautiful soul and how caring she is toward all of her friends. There is not a single thing this girl wouldn't do for her family and friends. Even packing extra clothes or jewelry for me when she comes to visit me in Kansas City because she knows how indecisive I am when it comes to choosing an outfit, so she brings me extra. This caring and kindness is also shown through her dedication and passion for her work. Secondly, Shanna has the ability to find fun in any situation, even in the wintertime. And everyone who knows me knows how much I hate the cold weather, so I usually don't go out. It's just not my season. But in college, Shanna come blowing through our apartment door, yelling at me to throw on my sweater dress and go out with her so I would be warm. Lastly, her thoughtfulness and generosity. She was always making sure that we were taking the time to make trips to visit each other. Her and Jenny coming to Kansas City, me going to St. Louis. Even when I moved to Texas, she was one of the first friends to visit. But no matter how much time went by or if we hadn't talked in weeks because life has taken over, it was like we never skipped a beat. Our friendship remained the same. But I really missed being a short drive away from you and going out on the weekends, sometimes with Nick, my husband, driving us around and taking care of us. He would always make sure to document the journey, of course, wondering how in the world we could understand each other because he had no idea what we were saying. Well, Matt finally got to see this in action last summer when we took a trip to the river, and he really showed how patient and selfless he was when he took care of us, my dogs, and all of our belongings on the walk back to the cabin, so thank you again for that. I could go on and on about our shenanigans in St. Louis, Springfield, and Kansas City, but a little more about Matt. I was a little nervous to meet him for two reasons. One, because the first time he was actually meeting my family when they came to visit us at the lake for the weekend, so I was a little scared for him. They can be a lot. But he was able to hold his own and bantered back and forth with them. And two, because he is all Shanna had talked about for a while, and I had very high expectations for him. I couldn't wait to meet the guy that had Shanna doing a Tough Mudder. My first impression of Matt was that he was kind and friendly, and those are still true. But as I've gotten to know him better, I've also seen how incredibly selfless he can be. He's always checking on Shanna and making sure he is good no matter what we are doing. Matt also has the same generosity that Shanna does. And his motto lately is, what Shanna wants, Shanna gets. After all of our time together, I knew he was the one for my best friend, the one who goes along with Shanna's crazy fun ideas, and the one who will support her no matter what, even during Hanukkah. For those who don't know, Shanna loves celebrations so much that her birthday is not only celebrated on her actual birthday in January, but all month long, and it's called Hanukkah. And I honestly would not be surprised if she continued to wear her wedding dress all of October whenever she goes out. All while Matt is supporting her, shrugging his shoulders, saying, of course she would, it's fine. But really, Matt, I love how much you love Shanna and will do anything to make her smile. I know you will have challenges, as all relationships do, but what's great about love and marriage is learning to grow together. The communication it takes to keep a marriage going is massive. Trust me, I'm still learning, if you haven't witnessed that already this weekend. But half the fun is working things out, talking, communicating, and passive-aggressively loading or unloading the dishwasher, that real love. Shanna and Matt, you complement each other perfectly, and it's easy to see how crazy you are about each other. I'm so glad that my best friend found someone who shares her love for traveling and being adventurous. She found someone worthy of her love, kindness, and generosity. I'm so honored to call you my friends, and I can't wait to see how you navigate this exciting next chapter together. So everyone, please raise your glasses to toast this beautiful couple. Here's to Shanna and Matt. Cheers!
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole. If I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, I am Shanna's maid of honor. She came barreling into my life, 6 years ago? We have Marie to thank for that, but she came into our lives, and I think a lot of our friends who know us both well thought our friendship was pretty strange because we're pretty opposite in a lot of ways, to say the least. But I think the universe knew that we needed each other. She needed a little steadiness in her life, and I needed someone to break me out of my shell a little bit. And if anybody can break you out of your shell, it's Shanna, because she's like a bottle of champagne, and I think everyone can agree she's bubbly and sparkly, and she can make any situation fun. And I don't think it would surprise any of you to know that we instituted happy hours pretty early on in our friendship. Well, Shanna told me we were going to have regular happy hours. And once she sets her mind to something, there's really no disagreeing with her. So to happy hour I went. But these nights became the best nights because we created such a safe space for one another to vent about the world, our work, boys, whatever we needed to, and we knew the other person was there to listen or to give brutally honest advice, whatever the situation called for. And it allowed us to indulge in our favorite things, dirty martinis and champagne cocktails. So when Shanna met Matt, I thought our happy hours were going to become less frequent or the thing of the past, as things often do when you go into a new relationship. But I was proven wrong one evening when Shanna called Matt for one of our happy hours to come pick us up. It was maybe a Thursday at 1 a.m., as most of our happy hours never end earlier than midnight, But he came and got us, he herded us in his car, and he did something that I will never forget for the rest of my life. Matt, you took us to Taco Bell. And that's when I knew that Shanna was gonna marry you. And it's not just because of the Taco Bell. It was because he knew immediately, without either of us having to tell him, how important these nights were. And yes, they get a little crazy, and we do need to get picked up. But that's the thing I think about Shanna and Matt both. They share this very beautiful quality where they will support their friends, their family, and each other, full stop, without question. And Matt has and will, I will assume, pick us up from all of our future happy hours that we might have. And I know Shanna would do anything for someone she loves, and I'm actually 100% confident when I say this. She would help me hide a dead body if I ever needed her to. She would not bat an eyelash. She would just be there ready to help. But in all seriousness, these two, I've watched them over the last couple of years just support each other through everything, no matter what. And they don't try to change each other. Matt has let Shanna be the champagne bottle that she truly is. without wanting to change her sparkle at all. And Shanna has just been there for Matt no matter what. Through the good times, the bad times, whatever the case may be, she's just there and ready to tackle life. So I really could go on and on about Shanna and Matt, but to save ourselves from some emotions, I'm gonna stop there and ask everyone to raise a glass with me. To cheers, Shanna and Matt. I hope you have a long and happy life together, full of Taco Bell. Cheers.
Step over here. Yeah, you're good, man. Are you nervous, Matt? So, the school that I teach at, we recently went to an 80-minute block schedule. So, I'm going to do my best to limit myself more than I would in a classroom. And my students tend to tell me that I ramble, so I've prepared a few remarks, and so I will be reading using this. I apologize in advance. My name is Devin Schaefer, and I've known Matt for, I was trying to count it up today, the better part of 2 decades, right? And before I begin my speech, I'd like to thank a few people. As everybody knows or can imagine, a lot went into making today special, and it wouldn't have been possible without Shanna and Matt's parents and families. So if we could give them a round of applause, please. Also, in the past week, I've been calling them quite a bit just to see how's everything going. And so I know that they've been working tirelessly just to organize and make everything possible for tonight. So, in addition to them, I'd also like to thank all of you for showing up and celebrating their special day with them. So when Matt first asked me to stand up with him, my mind immediately started to think about this speech. What do you say about somebody who you have so much dirt on and still be appropriate? So to look for inspiration and a little focus, I turned to Shanna to maybe share a few, maybe more recent stories, particularly ones that could highlight Matt's character and really share what type of person he is. Well, she sent me a lot of texts, and I could use literally none of those stories. None. In fact, the stories and quotes she sent me were truly horrifying and made me question both what type of person I'm friends with and what type of person I am for hanging out with him so much. For anyone still using Twitter, the quote Shanna sent me would have been more appropriate for an account that Matt's modern-day friends set up to honor him. So if you're curious about that, I believe there's a table back there. You could talk to the wedding party. They will hook you up with that very offensive Twitter handle, and you could read some of those quotes later. So with Shanna being absolutely no help, I had to turn to a different source for inspiration: pictures. And as I started to scroll through the thousands of pictures that I've taken and are not organized and I've shared with literally no one, I had to scroll quickly past the bachelor party, realizing I could also use none of that as well. And so finally, I settled on sharing a side of Matt that many people here are not aware of, and that is his scouting career. To kind of shine a little light on some characteristics that Matt has, or maybe just has developed a little more so. As we all know, part of being a Boy Scout is being safety conscious. Well, I could say He might be safety conscious now, but he was not. Shanna, please just never let him get a bow and arrow, all right? So skipping past safety conscious, because that's not something we could say about Matt. We could say he might be athletic with his Tough Mudders now, but again, not something we could say before. When he was in 7th grade, we went skiing, and he decided, hey, black diamond, let's do that. Ran into a tree and proceeded to get bullied for the rest of 7th grade for having to wear a brace because he broke his collarbone, and we all called them his bra straps. So scratch that one out, not athletic. You know, it's one of those things where I'm so thankful we don't have a screen here for some of these pictures. When we were in Boy Scouts, we were part of a special ceremony team, and probably a little more offensive today than what we realized at the time, but we dressed up as Native Americans. Seriously, YCA or YMCA level Native American regalia. Yeah. Ugh. And anyways, we would go and do these graduation ceremonies for Cub Scouts. Well, I came across a picture when I was doing my research of course, when we were posing for the picture, Matt raising up the loincloth and flashing. So stylish, cross that one out. Cross that one out too. I could keep going with these stories, but I'm not, because I'm standing between all of you and the dance floor, and I know that. So I do want to get on to the characteristics that I can say. Matt is the type of person, and you've heard it from literally everybody who's come up here, but he's the type of person that when you need help, you call him, and he'll be there, without a question, without hesitation. Matt's the type of person that you could call anytime you have a question, anytime you need to talk something through, anytime that you need anything, and he'll be right there for you. And so when I heard that he was dating somebody, Shanna, and we invited them to come up to our house in the Chicago area to go bike riding. And, you know, Matt, again, being athletic, being adventurous, said, okay, yeah, let's do this. And I was like, wait, is your new girlfriend okay with this? He's like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Well, I just found out literally last night that Shanna her and Nicole were practicing bike riding beforehand. And I just have to say, she should have practiced more. Because I meet this woman, and within the first 2 minutes of riding a bike, she flips over the handlebars. But she gets back on the bike. 2 minutes later, she hits a curb and falls over again. And at that moment, I said, you know what? This girl's pretty amazing. She's doing an activity that she probably has, well, not probably, she definitely had no skill at. And she was doing it to make her boyfriend happy. And so at that point, I said, you know what? This is going to be perfect. So for the person who will do literally anything for anyone, that being Matt, and for the person who will go out of her way to do whatever it's needed to make people comfortable and to make them happy as well. Let's raise our glasses for Matt and Shanna. Cheers.